Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We'll be cooking in the kitchen today, doing one of my favorite recipes. This is going to be kind of a oven's ready. This is going to be kind of a twofer recipe because it's a not two course, but a main meat and a potato side. So we'll be doing seasoned roasted potatoes and hamburger steak in a Marsala brown gravy. So let me get all my ingredients together and we will try to keep it pretty well separated between the two recipes, but it should be easy to follow along. So we'll be right back in just a moment, and there we go. Alright, since the potatoes take the longest, we'll start with those first. You want to cube up some potatoes about bite size. I use red potatoes. As you can see, they're starting to get a little old, but you can still eat the growth on them. It should be fine. Cube them up. You want to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in there. About a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. If you want to get them crispy, you definitely want to add a couple of tablespoons. And then I use, if I can find the front of it, smoked paprika and onion with garlic and pepper. This is a steak seasoning. I actually use it in cooking. You want to be pretty generous with it. Alright, you're going to be using that again, so just leave it off the side with all the hamburger steak recipe. You want to go ahead and stir this up by hand. Make sure there's oil on all the potatoes. Make sure the seasoning gets around pretty evenly. All right. Let me rinse this off my hand. Alright, so next up, I have the oven preheating at 400. As you heard in the beginning of the video, it came up to heat. So, what I do is I'll take the potatoes, a small baking sheet, and I'll pour all of these on here, and make sure you drizzle everything on there. There's going to be a little bit of stuff left. It should be fine. Spread out nice and even. Now you're going to be cooking these potatoes in about 2 stages. First off, you're going to bake them for a bit. And then if you have an air fryer, it's nice to touch them up in the end in the air fryer to get them nice and crisp. If not, I would leave them in the oven for about, 15 to a half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour. So let me go ahead and get those in the oven and get everything else ready to start the hamburger steak. So let me be right back. So for the hamburger steak, you start off with about 1.25 pounds, about a pound itself. I'm sorry, 1 pound to 1.25 pounds of ground beef. You want to go ahead and generously add your seasoning, but don't go too crazy on it because you don't want it too salty or peppery. Well, I'm still using the smoked paprika and onion. And also I will add a little bit of Kent Ron's original. I'm not sure what's in this, but usually if you want to do this, you do a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of smoked paprika. Sorry. Garlic and onion with salt and pepper. So at this point, you want to go ahead again, use your hand. Go ahead and stir this up. Let me go ahead and do that with the camera stands in my way, so I gotta do this off camera. So we will be right back. So at this point, after I've gotten done mixing the seasoning into the hamburger meat, I split it into 2 half-pound patties, pressed them out flat. Literally, they're about yay wide and about so long here. I'd say they're about 4 by 5 or about 4.5 by 6. You want to flatten them down about a 1/2 inch each. And go ahead and bring your pan up to heat. I'll add a little bit of oil to it. And once it comes up to heat, I will be right back. Alright, so the best way to get a pan up to heat is put it on about medium high until it starts smoking. Then you drop it down to the temperature where you want it, which I have it on just between medium and medium low. That's about where you want it for your hamburger steaks. Go ahead and place them in the pan. Now you don't want to cook these all the way through. You want to do them about halfway, about mid-rare or so. And just only to get drippings in the pan. That's all you really want at the moment. And then once they get about midway, you want to take them out and set them off to the side. Then we'll start making the gravy that goes into it. Once that's done, we'll end up throwing in the oven, which is still at 400. Potatoes are still baking in there. And so once I get to the point where I need to flip them, or if there's not anything else to say about them, I'll get them to the point where I put them on the side and move back and start making the gravy. So we'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so the hamburger steaks are ready to come off and go off to the side. Take your largest one out first. Place it on the bottom while you put the small one on top. And then you want to go ahead and drop your temperature down to about between mid-low and low. Your second, or the next thing you need to do is minced garlic. I got about 5 cloves in there, and minced them with the garlic mincer. We'll go ahead and throw those in there. And we'll wait till they get brown. While that's going, go ahead and add some black pepper to it. Not much, because there's enough in the seasoning in the hamburger steak. Just a little bit. Spread it out a little bit there. Go ahead and add about a 1/4 cup of Marsala. We're going to let that simmer until it reduces down to half. Let that simmer some more. And I use a mushroom gravy, about a half a pack of this. There should be enough fluid in there to cover for what the pack asks for, but you might want to get a couple tablespoons of water just to thin it out if needed. We'll have that off the side for a moment there. Like I said, you want to add about a half a pack of this. You don't want the whole pack. About that much. Throw a little bit of water in there. Still probably need a little bit more water. Well, that should be enough. Alright, at this point, you want to go ahead and return your hamburger steak to the gravy. Once it gets thick enough, should start thickening in a little bit. Again, you want to keep the temperature down some so it doesn't get away from you when it's thickening. Make sure you put your hamburger steaks back in first. I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. And then you take half a pound of mushrooms, half, and a whole onion julienne. You go ahead and start pouring it around. Break up the onion a little bit. You want these to cook and break down. I'm going to cover them with a lid here in a moment, just let them sit for a moment, and then I will throw them into the oven. Alright, so let me let those sit and sweat for a moment, and then we'll throw them in the oven for about 20 minutes, take them out, move all the onions and mushrooms aside, and flip the hamburger steaks, and then we'll put it in for another 20 minutes. So we'll be right back. So at this point, been about 10 to 15 minutes sitting on the stove. The potatoes are about done. You want to go ahead and take them out and have them ready to go into the air fryer. So what I'm going to do here now is add some dill to all this. Go ahead and go generous with the dill if you want. I like dill weed, so I go pretty generous with it. Do not stir it, just leave it as is. And we will transfer this to the oven. The oven's still at 400. This will sit here for about 20 minutes, and you'll move everything to the side and flip the hamburgers. So let me get these transferred to the air fryer, and we'll be right back. So the next step, once you transfer them to the air fryer basket, I usually go to 400, go down to 5 minutes. Go ahead and let it start, and after 5 minutes you want to shake them up and get them stirred up a little bit and put them in for another 5 minutes. You keep doing that until you get them right to where you want them. So we'll be right back. Alright, timer's going off for the first 5 minutes. Potatoes are about where I want them. I don't want them too much more done. Go ahead and shake them up and check them all. Leave them in the air fryer for a bit to stay warm. And maybe you can use about another minute to warm them back up once your hamburger steaks are done. So first part is pretty much done with the potatoes. We are still waiting for the hamburger steaks to be done, and when they are, we'll be right back. Alright, so first 20 minutes is up. You want to go ahead and take the whatever's on top, go and scrape it into the gravy. Doesn't have to be all of it, because once you flip these, whatever's stuck to it will go into the gravy. So you go ahead and flip these. Make sure both sides are in the gravy and soaks it in. And what I'm going to do is stir this up a little bit. Right now, it's at a point where I think it should only go in for about 10 minutes. The hamburger steaks seem to be pretty well done. So let me go ahead and put them back in for about 10 minutes, and we'll be right back and serve. Be back in a moment. So, time is up. We go and get the hamburger steak out of the oven here. Ooh, that's heavy. The hamburger steak is ready, so we will go ahead and turn off the oven. At this point, you want to take the gravy, kind of plop it on top. Let it sit for a little while to cool down and residual cook. Alright, let that sit for a little while. And at this point, I'll go ahead and start up the air fryer just to warm the potatoes back up. And pretty much this is already done. What I usually do is a large bowl. I'll put a bed of potatoes down. Put one of the hamburger steaks on top. Put some of the mushrooms and onions on top. And then put about a generous amount of gravy on it. You can, while it's sitting, once you take one of the steaks out or both the steaks, give it a good stir just to make sure all the gravy has mixed up pretty well. And pretty much serve and eat. So I appreciate you watching. Again, as usual, if you ever try any of my recipes, please let me know how it turns out. And again, until next week, y'all have a great week and a great weekend. Enjoy life and bon appetit. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button.